Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of A Piece of New York. Today, we're in Woodside, Queens, and we're coming to a place that has recently taken social media by storm with one of the viral videos. They've also had some recent publication in Eater magazine, but the history of Ottomanelli goes back over 100 years in New York City to the early 1900s, back in the West Village. Now, this spot, F. Ottomanelli, was started by Frank Ottomanelli, who originally had to start in a street fair here in Queens by serving dollar sliders, and they were so damn good that he eventually opened up his own location. Now, S. Ottomanelli, which was named after his father, Salvatore, and F. Ottomanelli used to have places that were right next door to one another. But what happened is the two ended up becoming one. They came together, and what they're really known for here is serving the freshest meat here in New York City. They've been compared to some of the top steakhouses in New York City, but what separates them from everyone else is they're taking that meat straight from the butcher shop and then cooking it in the back and serving it to you fresh right on your table side. So let's go inside, check it out, and see what they're all about. Happy Valentine's Day. First impression, this place is awesome. It's old school New York City butcher shop with a steakhouse inside of it. You're not gonna get fresh meat in New York City or really anywhere. It's just coming straight from the butcher shop onto the griddle and then onto your plate, and then you eat it. Absolutely amazing. You walk in and then you're just hit with a number of different smells, number of different flavors. It's really mouth-watering when you do walk in here. And then they also have the sawdust on the floor. What I also love is the homage that they pay to the past. You walk in, you can see the timeline that they do have on the wall from when the shop first started, family coming into the family business as well, and just all the great press that they've had. I am looking really forward to having this meal here at Ottomanelli's. We have a tremendous order in front of us right now. I'm really excited. We got the butcher burger with double brisket and chuck burger blend, auto sauce, hardwood smoked bacon, lettuce and tomatoes. And we also have the steak lunch special, a tremendous deal, $18.99, 8-ounce flat iron. It comes with a salad and then two sides. The two sides that we got were sauteed mushrooms and steak fries with Parmesan cheese and truffle oil. So first off, let's start with that butcher burger. And man, this is a big, hearty, delicious burger. Wow. With the tomato, the bacon, lettuce, 2 fat pieces of meat. Let's dig in. I don't think I've ever had a burger that fresh, that delicious. Just 2 big hunking patties pressed together that were so juicy, so succulent. And then also just tender as well. You just bite into it, and then just all the juices from that meat come into your mouth, and it was just absolutely incredible. You also have the freshness of the lettuce that was adding a delicious earthy flavor, and then the tomato, which added a hint of sweetness along with the ketchup, which was also sweet, and then you had the saltiness and crispiness of that bacon coming together. So you have all these different flavors and textures coming together with this burger, and then the fluffy, airy bun also just wrapping it all in one. A tremendous experience. This for $12.95 is definitely a bargain for how good this burger is. Wow, way to go, Ottomanelli. This was fantastic. Now with that lunch special, I did say it does come with a salad when I was telling you what we did order. Salad does look fresh. Everything on there looks delicious. We didn't come here for a salad, especially at a butcher shop. So we're going to move along to the sauteed mushrooms. Here we go. Sauteed mushrooms, a steakhouse classic. This was a combination of buttery, garlicky, and then just chewy and fresh. When it comes into your mouth, there's that delightful flavor that mushrooms do have. It's going to add to the other sides that you did get. These mushrooms are damn good. Next, we got the Parmesan truffle fries. Smell that cheese. Good combination of oil with Parmesan. This is a little bit more on the garlicky side for me, but they're hot, they're fresh, they're crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. Everything that you are looking for in a fry. And then the delicious Parmesan. Another solid side. Lastly, we got the steak. Cooked at medium. Straight from the butcher shop, right onto the grill. Here we go. It's great. This has a great pepper crack to it, an amazing juiciness to it as well. It's crispy on the outside, a little bit tender on the inside, which I do like as well. What you're going to notice when you do come here is really the freshness of the meat that you get. The freshness of the burger patties was awesome. This steak, delicious, juicy, fresh from the butcher shop onto your plate. I can understand why these guys have so much publicity, why they've withstood the test of time, being around since the early 1900s and now continuing to thrive over 120 years later. We have a special treat here. We have the legend Frank Ottomanelli with us. Frank, you'll have a tremendous history, right, when it does come to it. I mean, go into that, starting with the 1900s, right, with your grandfather coming over.
Yes. It goes back to 1900s, the West Village, Manhattan, Lower Manhattan. My grandfather started with a push cart, cured meats, and then he was came to this country, didn't speak English, but he had a very good business mind, and he was able to use his push cart and turn it into a profit. And every time he gathered some profits, he took a trip back to Italy, and he made this journey back and forth 12 times. And every time he'd go to Italy, he would buy a piece of property.
And then every time he would go back, he would leave one of his sons back in Italy, right? So he could work with your great grandmother.
Yes.
Learn the butchering craft. Is that correct?
That's exactly right. It was on my grandmother's side. There was butchers going back 200 years in southern Italy, and basically, like all my family learned from my grandmother's side how to be butchers, and they brought that trade to America.
Okay, so then your father's Salvatore, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what was his story, right? You said he was in Italy during World War II, and then he came over afterwards, or you talked about there was some sign, right, where he went and prayed at a church?
Yeah, no, my father, he was the youngest of 12, and my grandmother was very, very religious, Catholic, very religious, and prayed every day. And her dream was like her youngest child would go into the priesthood. So when my father was 13 years old, he was enrolled into the seminary, and by the time he was 17, he was just about to be ordained. World War II broke out. The headmaster at the seminary said, "It's too dangerous here. You all have to go back home to your families."
Okay.
So after World War II, my grandfather asked my father, before he goes back, to take a pilgrimage and go from Bari, Italy, to Capri, and then go to the top of the mountain. It's called Anna Capri, and there's a church there called St. Michael's Church.
Okay.
And pray for 2 weeks.
Okay.
After that, he came back and he said, "I had this feeling I should go to New York and meet my brothers." Now, my Uncle Joe and my Uncle Norfield, they opened up the first Ottomanelli butcher shop.
You all really became huge in the 1950s, right? Like, was there a playwright, Arthur Miller? What was that story?
Okay, so Arthur Miller, the playwright, he loved. He lived on 57th Street, the Mr. Chow building, which is still there today, and he loved the Ottomanelli meats. And my father, my Uncle Joe, used to get the phone call every week. Arthur Miller, by the way, he loved ribeye steaks, and Marilyn Monroe, she loved the filet mignon steaks. So anyway, my father would deliver the order on the bicycle every week with his apron, dirty shoes, and dirty apron, and he didn't know Marilyn Monroe was the woman answering the door every week. And one day we were all in my living room watching TV, and my father said, "That's my customer," and we had to explain to him that was Marilyn Monroe. He didn't even understand, but we had to explain to him. So Arthur Miller really helped us like tremendously. He had all his playwright friends, all his actors friends come to us buy the meat. He told everyone about us. And in the 50s and the 60s, you name it, we had all the celebrities. And that's what made us famous.
That's awesome. That's amazing. So then in the 1960s, or it was 1960, your father opens this location, correct?
It was 2 doors over. S. Ottomanelli Sons, 2 doors over. And then in 2019, before actually 2012, we opened this location, and then in 2019 we said, why don't we merge the 2 locations and put everything under one roof? And that's what we did. We put the butcher shop and the restaurant together.
Okay. So last thing, it looks like you came into the family business in the 1970s, and then you were the one that thought, why don't we also turn this into type of steakhouse restaurant, right? You said, let's get the meat that we do have in the back. What was that? How did you come to that?
It's just like everything came naturally because we realized like people wanted our steaks and they wanted to, and we said, why didn't we cook the steaks? And people started liking it, and little by little we started growing the steakhouse business.
Okay. Last question, I gotta ask this. People coming here for the first time, what do you recommend they get?
The porterhouse steak, because you get the filet mignon on the bottom, and you get the New York strip on the top. All our meat is prime. We dry age it like up to 30 days, and I think it's probably some of the best meat you can get at anywhere. We were written up in the Eater magazine about 2-3 weeks ago. They came in here, and they didn't even let us know who they were, and they said we are better as far as quality and pricing and they compared us to Manhattan steakhouses.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things you are going to notice here, folks, when you do eat the meat here. It's fresh. It's straight from the shop. I mean, the steak that we had was tremendous. That burger that we had was great. I loved everything. It was a tremendous experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Well, folks, that concludes our day here in Woodside. And I have to say, what a tremendous experience it was. From the delicious food to having the opportunity to interview Frank, it was absolutely amazing. Now, that food was unbelievable. I have to tell you what, folks, the freshness that all that food came out was just top notch, from that delicious scrumptious burger that was so juicy, so fresh, absolutely bursting with flavor with all the different fresh ingredients, to that steak, which was succulent, had a delicious salty, peppery taste to it, and just everything coming together. My goodness, I cannot believe how delicious the food here was and how fresh it was as well. And getting to interview Frank, what a tremendous host he was, giving us the history of his family, not just going back 100 years here stateside, but 200 years, going all the way back to Italy, and just the tradition that he continued in his family. Thank you very much, Frank. And from everyone over here at A Piece of New York, we just want to say, if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you enjoy the content, give us a subscribe. Hope you have a great day and a better week. Take it easy, y'all. Bye-bye.